Hey, seventh graders, I hope you have a good day today without me. Today, you guys are going to do kind of a little genetics challenge to kind of get you guys started for the test. Remember, your guys' test is on Tuesday. Yesterday, I posted some Jeopardy, some flashcards for both vocab and monohybrid crosses, plus the 2 Jeopardy. Remember that there are some things we haven't gone over in the Jeopardy, so if you guys see a question you don't know that we haven't talked about, just go ahead and ignore it. You guys can kind of check out the answer and see if it looks familiar to you, but if not, no worries. So those are some different ways you guys can study for that test. Monday, we'll do our escape room to kind of help us do some review as well. And then this is kind of just a fun little challenge to see how far you guys can push yourself. I talked to you guys a lot in this unit about, you guys are 7th graders, and what you guys learn in genetics is very black and white. Okay, it's very simple, but you guys are going to get kind of a taste about how complicated genetics can be. And in this situation, we're only talking about pigeons. We're not even talking about human beings. So you guys can kind of imagine how even more complex human beings could be if we were doing the same kind of activity here. All right, so this is the Pigeonetics challenge. Obviously, you guys are watching this video right now, so you guys shouldn't be doing anything on this yet. I'm going to walk you guys through the first 5 challenges. So if you guys notice on your little sheet with your partner, you guys should have those first 5 already checked. You still will have to go through those 5 challenges because you can't advance on to challenge 6 without doing the 5 in front of it. So you guys can't just skip to a different challenge. From there on, you guys will have the sub come and check you. So once you complete a challenge, raise your hand. If you guys have time, you can kind of come down, and then when you start a new challenge, it'll say like 10 out of 26. You can have the sub come and sign off like 6, 7, 8, and 9, because she'll be able to see that you've obviously completed 6, 7, 8, and 9 if you guys have made it to 10. So you guys don't necessarily have to have the sub come over every challenge to sign you guys off. You guys can go like every other challenge or whatever the case is, but just make sure you guys have enough time in class. You guys will be working on this the whole time in class. I don't expect you guys to complete this. Some of it gets really, really complicated, and I tried to give you guys some hints here and there. So keep that in mind. So moving on, to get to the link, you guys can either go to my Teams page and click on the link that I posted for today, Friday, or you guys can just go to your search bar and type in pigeon and then etics, like Pigeonetics. Genetics, there, see what they did there. Okay, and it should be one of the first things that pop up. It's this University of Utah thing. And then you guys should get this little game right here. So I'm going to go through some of the things with you guys. You'll also notice that on your table, you guys have this little cheat sheet. You guys will start off just looking at the gender of the pigeons, which we know that human beings, a female has 2 X chromosomes, they're XX, and a male has an X and a Y. Pigeons are actually opposite, so that kind of threw me. So I made sure I put that down for your guys's cheat sheet, so you guys can kind of keep referencing that if it kind of throws you off. So remember, a male in pigeons is ZZ, and a female is going to be ZW. Okay, and then here's some of the other traits that you guys are going to look at. Crest or no crest is kind of like a little crown of feathers. You guys can see that the no crest is more dominant than the crested head. You guys can see slippers and grouse. And then you guys can kind of see like a midway too. So how many feathers do they have on their legs and their feet? That's what the slippers and the grouse is. So this gene comes in 2 different versions, slipper and no slipper. A bird with 2 no slipper alleles has bare feet and legs. A bird with 2 slipper alleles has feathered feet. But if you guys get a heterozygous mix, you kind of get half feathered, half not. So you kind of get in between on that. So you guys can look at those. You guys can see different wing patterns. You guys can see the T-check is just plain black. It's the most dominant. Okay, you got check is this cool color. That's the second most dominant. And then we got bar, and then barless is just a plain white feather. You guys also have different colors. And from there, and this one's sex-linked, so you guys will see that only the Z chromosome has that. So we kind of talked about that a little bit with chromosome, where it was easier for males. In this case, it's easier for females to get a certain trait for color. Whereas a male has to get 2 copies of it to have that color. So a little bit more difficult to get the colors for the males. You guys can see spread and no spread. That's kind of whether or not they have a solid color or if they kind of fade from light to dark from their bottom of their body to their head. Spread is an epistatic gene, meaning it hides the gene for wing pattern. So if you guys have no spread, or excuse me, spread right here, that means you're not going to see any wing pattern. That bird's going to be solid no matter what we have for our genes for our wings. Okay, so that one's kind of like, think of a blanket, like throwing a blanket over something and covering it. So they're 2 different genes. Same with this recessive red. If you guys have 2 copies of that recessive red, it doesn't matter what the other genes for color, so either ash red, blue, or brown are. It doesn't matter what the spread is. It doesn't matter what the pattern on the wings are. You will see recessive red no matter what these other genes are, because again, it's kind of like throwing a blanket over and hiding them. So that's what these epistatic genes are. So you guys can read about those. I don't know if you guys will even get that far. Dilute is a gene that makes the color lighter. So depending on what color we see, it makes everything a little bit lighter in the birds. That's also sex-linked, so we only see it on the Z chromosome. There is no chromosome on the W one. So that's what the little dot represents, and you guys can see what that looks like. So use this little cheat sheet to kind of help you guys through. Sorry, I'm taking too long on that. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to do the first 5 examples for you guys. So once your Pigeonetics things loads, I don't know why mine is taking so long today, but I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a second, let it load, and when it's all up, All right, so I got it all loaded up. When you guys load yours, it should go a lot quicker at school. You guys should see this. What you guys will also see, though, as you is a couple of different like hints that it'll give you throughout the way. So make sure you guys are clicking on those hints. So I'll hit those. So you guys hit the bottom to proceed. You can mute it. You guys can read the little text things that they give you guys. Some of this should be good review for some of our vocab, like allele, homozygous, heterozygous, stuff like that. So you can read a little bit about pigeons. It's pretty quick. Here's our male and our female. Remember, our male is ZZ. Our female is ZW for our chromosomes. Shows you guys that. And then it'll go ahead and give you guys your first challenge. So here's challenge 1 of 6. Your goal is to create a female bird. So you guys will have 2 pigeons. Okay, here we've got our male. Remember, the male is ZZ. Again, refer to your guys' little cheat sheet. And here's our female. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a male and a female because we need to make a baby. And we need to find a female. And we know females are Z. So this dad must have passed down a Z because that's all his options are. Whereas this female bird is going to pass down a W because they want to have a baby, and then you guys will hit hatch, and then you guys will get either 3, 2, or 1 eggs depending on how efficiently you made your challenge complete. So once you guys are done with that, you guys can hit complete. Some of them get a little bit more intense as far as like the goals and what you guys can read. So I'll show you guys those here in a second. In this case, we're making a male. So here's my male, here's my female. We want a male this time. So obviously our dad can only pass down the Z chromosome, and our female this time has to pass down the Z chromosome. Now this egg should essentially be a male pigeon. Success, I got my 3 golden eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and hit continue. So first 2 challenges, pretty easy. You guys have some more to read about here. Now we're going to talk about no crest and crest. So obviously no crest is dominant over the crest. So you guys can see what those look like. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, read through those. Again, keep reading through these little things. They're really helpful for you guys, but I'm going to skip them for the sake of this video. So my goal for goal number 3 or challenge 3 is to make a male with no crest. So bald head like this. Okay. So it should look like this bird. So I go ahead, I've got in this case 2 males I can use, and I've got 3 females. My goal is to get kind of this normal head. The only option I have, it looks like, is to pick this male. They're both the same. And then I got to pick a female. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one that has 2 alleles for no crest. And then my goal is to make a male. So I'm going to need 2 Z chromosomes, and I'm going to go no crest and crest, and then I'm going to hit hatch. The other thing that's really great about this is you guys can hit this question mark over here, and you guys can kind of see a little key, because there's some of these I get mixed up a lot. So keep that in mind. You kind of have a key. I got my 3 eggs. I can move on to the next one. Okay, I've got male and crest on this one. So this is goal 4 of 6. I'll do 2 more. So in this one, I need a male bird, and I want a crest. This time I want the tuft. So in my males, I have 2. This one has 2 alleles for no crest. This one has 1 for crest. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that one. You won't always have birds that have the traits that you guys want to pass down. So you guys really do have to just try different things and see if there's any mutations that arise, stuff like that. And then out of my females, again, I want this crest. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this female, and I want it to be a male. So I'm going to choose my 2 sex chromosomes, ZZ, and then I'm going to pick the 2 alleles for those parents to pass down to form the crest, and I'm going to hit hatch. Okay, so those are pretty easy. Last one I'm going to do for you guys is goal or challenge 5, to make a female with a crest. So kind of what I just did, but with a female. So again, this case, I only have females with no crest, so I got to choose one of them. And then I'm going to choose either one of these 2 that have the allele for the crest. Okay, this one's going to take me a little bit longer. So I want a female this time. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit hatch. Okay, at some point in there, you guys are going to see when there's a hatch, it'll say add another. you guys are going to want to use that button a lot. It kind of gives you a chance to make two offspring that you can breed together. So you might make like a female and a male that both have the desirable traits you want. So then you can breed those again, just like you guys see me doing is having to breed again. So obviously my no crest, if I go back to my cheat sheet, is really recessive. So I need two copies of that because it's less dominant. So I'm going to want to pick two birds that are both going to pass that down. So here's my female that has the crest trait, and then here's my male that has the crest trait. That's what I'm going to choose. I'm trying to get a female, so I want the W chromosome and the Z chromosome, and then I should be good. Okay, I got my 3 eggs. If I get less than 3 eggs, it means I didn't do it as efficiently as I could have, but you guys kind of get the point. So again, as you guys work through these, you guys will see some information about it. You guys will see your challenge. Again, when you guys get to this point, this is where you have to start having the teacher sign them off for you. Like I said, if you guys get to challenge 8 and then you want to have the sub come over and sign 6 and 7, she'll be able to see like, oh, you're on this goal. So that means you must have completed the goals before that, so I can sign those off. Okay, again, you guys can't advance without completing what you already see. Okay, and then as I go through this, like I said, I might see a button that says like add another. And I look and say, and you guys don't necessarily have to make your goal gender in your first one. Like this one, I needed a male. I could make a female. And if I just switch that out, I can say, okay, hatch, okay, now I can go and try to make my male or whatever the case is. So you guys have a lot of options, mess around with it. You guys can work on one computer, or if you guys want to try it in both, just remember that if one of you guys get it, in order for the other computer to advance, you guys have to get it on that computer too. So pay attention to how you guys did it. But you guys can definitely try different things on 2 computers if you guys would like. Okay, other than that, like I said, just keep going. You guys are working on this the whole class. At no point should anyone be done and playing games. No one's going to get through all 26 challenges. It took me a while. Okay, so try to get as far as you can. Like I said, it's a challenge. You guys are trying to see if you guys can get further than any other group in class. At the end of class, make sure both your names are on it. Give this back to the sub. First period, you guys will leave your cheat sheet. Please don't write on it. On your table for second period. Second period, if you guys could collect those cheat sheets for the sub and turn in your Pigeonetic challenge sheets, that would be great. And then the sub will leave these for me and I can check over and see how much you guys did. Again, I don't really expect you guys to get past like 16 because it starts to get a little bit more complicated. I did give you guys some hints, like start by making a male first on challenge 7. Hint, now you guys have this add another button on challenge 8. Use that a lot. That's very helpful. You may not always get the 3 golden eggs, but you guys will definitely have a little bit more option in your breeding that you guys can get those traits in that you want. Hint, make a male first, then use the add another button. So I gave you guys some hints, and then at this point, you guys can kind of just figure out the add another button. Okay, have fun with it. Try your hardest. Again, if it doesn't work the first time, just keep trying. You're fine. You're not going to lose points or anything. But just you guys are getting an idea how complicated genetics can be. So hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you guys on Monday for our escape room, and I'll talk to you soon.